Poco today launched the Poco F2 Pro globally through an online event. Now this is the same phone as the Redmi K30 Pro that had been launched sometime before in China. Now we already have a video up on that. Here's a card to it in case you haven't watched it yet. But then why this new video? Well, like me, I guess most of you guys are also really interested in the Poco F series. So I decided why not make a video and talk about all that the Poco F2 Pro has to offer. Hey guys, Omar here from C4eTech, and if you do end up enjoying this video, then please subscribe and turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon. Let's now get started. So first off, the design. It's a mixture of the old and new. We have the new ring style camera bump from the K30, now with 4 cameras instead of 3. We'll talk about optics later though. What's missing here is the polarizing 3D concentric circle design around the camera bump. Instead, we have a single accent ring at the bottom of which we have the flash module. The rest of the back is 3D curved Gorilla Glass 5 with a gradient finish. Not as eye-catching as the Redmi K20 and K20 Pro, instead this one has a more polished look to it. As for the front, we have an all-screen display here with a similar motorized 20 megapixel pop-up camera like we have seen on the K20 and K20 Pro. Even spec-wise, we have a Full HD Plus AMOLED panel protected by Corning's Gorilla Glass 5. The only difference is that the Poco F2 Pro comes with a bigger footprint, 6.67-inch panel compared to the 6.39-inch screen of the previous generation K20 series. Now, Poco has made full use of the extra real estate by packing in a 4700 mAh battery into the F2 Pro. This is a 17.5% increase in battery capacity compared to the 4000 mAh unit that we had in the K20 Pro last time. As far as charging speeds go, we have an upgrade in there as well. The Poco F2 Pro now charges at 30 watts with the included charger. This supports for USB PD as well as Quick Charge 4+. In fact, Poco claims that it can charge up to 100% in 63 minutes. Taking a look at the internals, we have the Snapdragon 865 chip in here, paired with MIUI. This is some top-of-the-line hardware that we have in here, so I expect performance to be buttery smooth. But honestly, I'm really disappointed that Poco didn't include a higher refresh rate screen in here. I mean, come on, 60Hz for the flagship Poco device when they said all that much about the 120Hz panel on the Poco X2?
Which is why Poco X2 comes with a 120Hz panel.
How are they gonna explain it if they ever launch this phone in India? I don't really know. Anyway, moving on. Poco has also built one of the largest vapor chambers inside the F2 Pro. The company claims that this will help keep thermals in check. As far as storage goes, we have 6 128 and 8 256 gig variants. The higher storage variant sports LPDDR5 and UFS 3.1 storage, while the base variant gets LPDDR4X and UFS 3.0 storage. On the connectivity front, this is obviously a 5G capable device. We also have Bluetooth 5.1 and Wi-Fi 6 on board. As far as the sundries go, we have a headphone jack, supposedly stereo speakers. Fingers crossed the implementation here is better than what we saw with the Poco F1. There's a fingerprint scanner underneath the AMOLED panel, and Poco has also crammed in a unique linear vibration motor in here, similar to what we have seen on the Mi 10 and Redmi Note 9 Pro series. We also have an IR blaster up top, and there's NFC, at least for the global variant. Finally, let's circle back to the rear cameras. Get it? Circle? Okay, that's a bad joke, it sounded better in my head. Anyway, getting back to the camera hardware. The primary is a 64 megapixel camera snapper with an f1.7 aperture. The main attraction here is that it can shoot 8K video. Other than that, we also have a 13 megapixel ultra-wide camera, a 5 megapixel macro sensor, and finally a 2 megapixel depth sensor. Now, while the primary sensor is a pretty good upgrade, I'd personally have taken an 8 megapixel telephoto sensor over the 5 megapixel macro and 2 megapixel depth sensing combo. I feel Poco got kinda caught up in the numbers game here. 3 to 4 cameras isn't really an upgrade if you're losing out on telephoto capabilities. I mean, is it me who feels that way, or do you guys agree? Let me know in the comments down below. So, coming now to the price, how much is the Poco F2 Pro gonna cost? Well, in Europe, the base 6 128GB variant has been priced at €499, or about 40,000 Indian rupees, and the 8 256GB variant starts at €599. Converted, that stands near 49,000 Indian rupees. However, if we take a look at the Chinese price of the K30 Pro, well, that starts at 2,999 yuan, or a shade over 31,000 Indian rupees. So two different prices for two very different markets. What about the Indian market then? Well, after the heavy backlash that Xiaomi has faced for their meet and pricing here in India, I don't think Xiaomi, Redmi, Poco, whatever you want to call them, would be ready to launch another 5G flagship in here anytime soon. That being said, if the Poco F2 Pro does make its way to India, I think it would be priced way more reasonably, something around the 35,000 rupee mark. And at that price, I think it would be a real flagship killer. Yes, it doesn't have some of the features that we expect from 5G flagships like, high refresh rate screens, killer camera setups. But then it's 5K lesser than everything that's going on in the market right now. Like, let's say the Realme X50 Pro or the OnePlus 8, they're all above the 40K mark. So if Poco does manage to bring the F2 Pro here in India at around, say, 35K, I think they would really light up the 5G flagship market here. Anyway, that's been it for my thoughts on the Poco F2 Pro. So now I want to know what you guys think. Do you like what the Poco F2 Pro brings to the table? At what price would you be willing to buy it at? Let me know down in the comments below. Well, that's been it for this video, guys. As always, like, share, subscribe and all that. And oh, turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon if you haven't yet. Thanks a lot for sticking around till the end, guys. Have a good one. Cheers.